a special welcome back. This is Prime Morning, this is News Flash, this is discussion segment, and my name is Rosakus Bao. Once again, welcome, and it's the first day of the month of October. Of course, we are so grateful to keep you still tuned in to the morning show every now and then. Enjoy Prime. And today we have a lot to talk about, and before we do that, we're going to get into the newspaper, and we do have some very special guests in studio today to help us with the issues that we'll be dealing with. And of course, Awal Mohammed is a member of the NPP Communications Team and also an aide to Dr. Bawumia. He's in the trenches working to try and get Dr. Bawumia to lead the party come 2028 general elections. It's a lot of work. Dr. Bawumia, of course, was in the central region. He just wrapped up his tour there. We'll see where he's going to go next, because so much to do as they look to win the ticket there. But also in studio with me as a member of parliament for Isutifi and Isutifi North constituency, Honorable Eben Kweku Ado. It's good to have him. Parliament is resuming, I think 2 weeks from now. Parliament will return to work, and of course, it's going to be very busy. So we are very grateful to have him in studio this morning. Gentlemen, good morning. Good to have you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Well, hope all is well.
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Well, I just should have done this before, but let me just give you this. This is the Ghanaian Times.
Okay.
And Honorable, this is the publisher. So I'll just go through the Chronicle. Then a while will come to you. You just go through the Ghanaian Times. And Honorable, you also go through the publisher. And then we'll get into some of the issues that we have today. Well, starting with the Chronicle, you do have here, he said, fuel dealer floors Total Energies in court. Oil giants ordered to issue release letter within 30 days to the defendant. So that's quite interesting. And I'm sure the story has to do with some probably issues he had. He said, you just look at some of the matters relating to the case there. Some claims for damages over the refusal to issue a letter describing them as unproven, and a few other things that concerns the fuel giant there. Then Eastern Region, NPP MPs deny Colin Bryan to retract their endorsement of Bawumia. That's interesting because 15 MPs from the Eastern Region endorsed Dr. Bawumia, and then Dr. Bryan Ichampo and his camp say, well, although they did it, in front of the camera, some of them have been calling him to, retract and apologize. That's quite interesting, but they've come out to say none of them have done such a thing. And you've got the face of Mr. Anodompre on the front page. An American in court for dealing in gold without license. That is also there on the front page of the Chronicle newspaper. Well, let's come to you, the Ghanaian Times.
Yes, so Ghanaian Times. Ghana's water resources decline from 1,900 cubic meters per person in 2016 to 1,500 now. That is the WRC, I think it's Water Resources Commission.
Yeah.
And the president holds crunch meeting with CSOs over illegal mining menace Friday. Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. The president has invited. We've seen the list of CSOs that have been invited for an engagement on the way forward when it comes to illegal mining. And we'll see. We'll try and touch on that briefly and see what the way forward is. So, but that's...
Yeah, so the water aid, Ghana launches 18.9 million wash project in Upper East, and German government to help Ghana strengthen regional security. These are the stories.
Awesome, great, honorable. You've got the Ghanaian publisher, right?
Yes, front page of the Ghanaian publisher. MPs, the Brian, name snitches or apologize.
Interested.
So we have CIBI slams 4th estate over shoddy NLA KGL probe. In fact, the CIBI, I would need a full meaning for that. And I think when you go to page 5, you see the story over there. Mahama drags CSOs into Galamsey. CID asked to probe Kulende Japa over alleged plot to derail Ato Forson's trial. That is page 2 of the Ghanaian publisher. Yeah,
interesting. Very interesting stories there. Well, I've still got the Insight newspaper here, and on the front page they say, "Na lie. World Bank report reveals COVID-19 Russia-Ukraine war not cause of Ghana's 2022 economic crisis." That's on the front page of the Insight newspaper. So that story did trend the course of the week. Not sure if you've had the benefit of reading the World Bank report. You can see that story there. Ghana's program of decentralization requires shift in mindset, that's according to the Vice President. And you also got Papasi Chief Hales, Chief Imam for promoting peace and national cohesion. And parties without reps in Parliament demand discontinuation of Edu Boahen's prosecution. Takwa Nsem, MCE, outlines vision to position Western region as Ghana's next business hub. Then the Accra Times here has got Mahama hailed for nominating new CJ with no political ties, they say. An MPP in search of credibility chases Bawumia loyalist over reckless comments. Then MPA to prosecute defaulters. Maida is chief coordinator for global grants fighting illicit drug trafficking. NACOC Director General calls on Paramount Chief of Lao. And Mahama cries out to the West Africa must demand reparations there. So basically, those are the headlines in the newspaper. Yeah,
there's an interesting news article in the publisher. Ghana's prisons face funding challenges. I think over the weekend, the Director General has announced that the President has approved an increment or upward adjustment of 5 cedi per inmate daily from 1.8.
Yeah.
I think the government should also consider looking at the rent allowance of the prison officers. There has been some conversation beneath. I think we have to also look at that aspect of the prisons.
So while we are looking to at least support the prisoners in their feeding, the prison officers who take care of
the rent allowance, I think there has been some sort of complaints, and maybe authorities are yet to deliver on the...
Not even an increment. They want it paid.
No, the rent, I mean, there have been an issue with the payment of the rent.
Yes, it's even the payment that is even the problem, not even an increment, because...
The allowance is not even coming.
Yes, with the daily, the inmates, the feeding of the...
I'm saying that, I'm only adding to what you're saying, that indeed it's true that I have had a lot of people from the prison service sending me messages that their rent allowance is in arrears for about 3 or 4 quarters now, that it hasn't been paid. So they are even not looking for upwards adjustment, right?
Only.
They are looking for even
so
the payment,
they want the payment to be done
promptly,
and hopefully it should also be increased so that,
now,
you know...
Mrs. Bafuboni is there, so definitely.
It should be easy to sort them out.
She should be able to really get...
But if the prisoners, and I think the thing about the prisoners is quite commendable, from 1 cedi 70 pesos, I believe, or 1 cedi 180.
180.
Yeah, 1 cedi 80 to 5 cedis. That's quite a huge increase.
Yes.
Because, I mean, we've seen stories of what's been fed some of the prisoners, and to be fair, it's not.
That's true. I think it's commendable.
Yeah.
We should commend the CEO, the Director General, and
the Interior Minister
Wengam, and the Interior Minister for really pushing this. And I think the best way to go now is for them to go into the farming. I know that when you go to a place like Yeji, I used to do some business over there. So when you go there, they cultivate huge lands over there. So for them, food is a bit available for them, just because the food there is cheaper over there, and again, they can also cultivate lands. Ejura, I have not been there. There is a new prison there, but I have not been there. But I'm sure that even that place too, they will cultivate. So I think the best way, when people are sentenced in hard labor, they should be in the farm of the prison service farming, so that they can even get the food.
Yeah, if they're farming, they get to feed themselves, right?
Exactly, then they feed themselves. It's better than them going to my farm, then fees are paid to the prison service as their IGF and so on. But the best thing is that if you even farm and it's big, you even sell it and get more money than taking money from individuals who they come and work in their...
I think that's really great. And I think it's something that our great minister mentioned he's working on. He's charged all the prison service. In fact, the prison service, not just the prison service, you understand, even the police service and a few other, institutions have been charged to ensure that they go into farming so that they can also feed themselves. And I think that is really, really, really important. And of course, Richard Suba is just joining us now. And Richard, good to have you. Good to have you. Hope all is well.
Yes.
Yeah, hope all is well.
All is certainly well.
Yeah, well, we're just talking about the prison service.
It's the first time I have come before him.
I knew they were doing fellow Ghanaians and co, so I was at the car park. Waiting that when it's after 6:30, then I join. Little did I know that, Charlie.
Yeah.
Because as for you, you're the first to sit.
Myself, I'm surprised seeing Awal before me. And I'm like, hey, what happened today? It's all good.
Changes ways.
So talking about this prison service, in fact, in my constituency, we have a prisons camp,
Okay.
which is solely male and
Then go so.
Kenya Sea.
Okay, you are in Kenya.
Yes. And they have cultivated approximately 100 acres of cocoa.
Wow.
They have, yes. It is mainly for agriculture, so they don't even admit female.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that is mainly for agriculture.
That's a brilliant thing. That's
Yeah,
something
they have-
I'd like
they
to
have,
How do they feed?
They have oil palm, almost 70 acres. They have other foodstuffs. In fact, they are doing a great job. So the agri minister, from few months, even came to support them with a truck and 2 tractors for their farming activities. Yeah.
All right, there's something that hopefully, if the opportunity presents itself, we would like to tell the story of how the prison officers are getting into cocoa, oil palm. That's brilliant. Yeah.
The news
Your team is-
Yeah, we would love to come and tell the
I'll
story.
take it to my constituency.
We would love to come and tell that story so we can make arrangements. and
But
go
I'm
tell the
even
story.
surprised that he said they don't admit females because
Yes,
it's
because
purposely
it's
for
purposely
farming.
for farming.
No, but when you go to such a different place, I used to have a farm around Drobonso. The female play a major role, especially in planting. They do all the planting. When you go to these areas, the men will be digging, then the female will be doing the planting of maize and so on. They will do, and when it's about gathering the food and so on. So they should consider adding the female. They can also work in the farm.
Yeah, they can find a place for it.
Yeah.
If they cannot do, maybe, especially if it's cocoa
Exactly.
farms, they cannot do the spraying, they can help with the harvesting.
Exactly,
you know.
the harvesting and so on.
Yeah, maybe the plan is just to keep it strictly male. You know, we'll see how it works out.
For now,
it reminds me of when I was growing up and in the cocoa farm. You know, it was. You know, we used to spend some time. It was especially carrying the cocoa when it's harvested is the problem. You know.
So when you
Works
have
like
the
that.
female,
Yeah,
the male will be cutting it.
yeah.
and
Then
they will be.
they also help with it. Great.
It's a suggestion. Maybe the
Yeah.
Interior Ministry will also.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for now, it's only male.
But the idea of getting the prisons to start farms, I think, is brilliant. It's brilliant. And I think we really need to get back into it. And I think the other news item, before we get into our main issue, has to do with government inviting the CSOs to come and, deliberate on the fight against illegal mining. Richard, I'm sure you've heard that story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And UTAG, in fact, are having their meeting today. Understand it's starting today. They did give government some ultimatum, I think 3-month ultimatum. It expired yesterday, and they said they were going to go on strike if government does not heed to some of their demands relative to Galamsey. So we are waiting to hear from them after their meeting, their National Congress meeting, to hear what the next plan is, because the ultimatum they gave government has ended. But government has invited quite a number of CSOs. We know the president of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo, has told government plainly that the sitting down and talking is over. They should go and do what needs to be done because they know what needs to be done.
Well, as the conversation started, or this is just a gist of it?
Yeah, I mean, these are,
Because I
a
realized
few
Awal
extras.
was seriously talking about agriculture.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll go into the agri.
We'll get into it.
specifics.
Yeah, we'll get
I
into
have
it extensively.
a few concerns as far as agri in Ghana is concerned. So on this note, I would like to say a cherished good morning to all your viewers
And your people in Whole Central.
and Whole Central as always, and to my co-panelists. And this is the first time I'm meeting my brother here, so I would like to extend my sincere good morning to him and to the entire production team of Joy Prime this morning. Yes, the issue of Galamsey is a multifaceted one. And the call by the president inviting these CSOs to come for them to Georgia, obviously it is not new.
Yeah.
I'm sure the erstwhile administration has also sat down with some few stakeholders to look into the issue and how we can really combat it head on. And then we will all agree that the Galamsey issue is festering the further because at the end of the day, we are not yielding the significant result. Most of our river bodies are still so turbid. And the variables for which we can measure the success of the fight against the Galamsey is in 2 phases. Either we are reclaiming the land or the forest, we are engaged in reforestation, that we can have evidence, tangible evidence to suggest that, yes, when we reclaim this forest enclave from the Galamseyers, we've been able to reconvert it into this, and this is the produce of what we are getting out of the reforestation program. Then again, the turbidity level of the rivers, that is also in a complete disarray, because look, most of the rivers now, their turbid level has risen to over 15,000, 20,000, whereby the normal consumption level of water for a human being should be about 5 NTU. So if you're having river bodies that are doing somewhere around 15,000, 20,000 NTU, and we have people in these communities who don't have any other source of drinking water except these rivers, then that means we are killing our people. And you know that even if you dig a well, the same water that is passing through the river, they are all navigating their ways out under the soil. So they all end up in the boreholes you'll be drilling.
But were you invited, though, Movement for Ghana?
Movement for Change.
Movement for Change.
For the sitting. Oh, no, you know.
Because I just looking through the list, I didn't happen to see your name in it.
No. We cannot be considered as a CSO. It is only if maybe they are inviting political actors. That is where maybe the Movement for Change can be invited. But this is more of a civil society organization. We obviously cannot be part of the list.
But are we not done with the talk shop?
Yeah, that is what
I'm just looking at the item here. The presidency says that the engagement aims to provide a platform for frank and constructive dialogue between the government and civil society on the menace of illegal mining, with a view to harnessing collective expertise, perspectives, and solutions to address the national challenge. Please accept the assurances of His Excellency John Dramani.
Exactly what
we know what to do.
Exactly what I'm going to, because we've been talking about the menace of Galamsey and its negative impact on our society over the past 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. But at least we intensified the campaign maybe for the past 3 years or 4 years. That is where we've really intensified the campaign, because hitherto many were hearing about the Galamsey issue, the destruction of the river body, but it looks like many were aloof. They were not really concerned until the argument of the fact that cyanide, lead, and other chemicals are getting their way into the vegetables and the fruits we consume, and here and there and here and there. And the yam, even results show that even yam contains lead. This is where many Ghanaians are awakening to the fact that really something is happening that can be in the south, and the Galamsey is happening in the north, but I'll still be a victim of the produce or the byproduce of what? Of Galamsey. So this is where many are still drawing the government attention to the fact that we really need to win this war against Galamsey.
Is there anything that government need to know that they don't know when it comes to the fight against?
The data is there. The participators of the Galamsey, they are there. Everybody have a deep understanding of what is going on in the Galamsey enclaves. And you see, I would have loved to see the president having a major open discussion with the traditional leaders, the chiefs. CSOs are talkers. CSOs are not the one who control any land.
But they also offer policy.
That is why I'm saying that
they engage in research.
Just like you are talking about we talking, they can only do research. They can only pick snippets of information, okay, and just tackle that against what they have to suggest that really the Galamsey fight, we are not winning it, we are actually losing it, or it's rather on the ascendancy. So what we are saying is that it is the chiefs, because you see, it is the chiefs in the days of old. Chiefs were so revered. Okay, chiefs were so revered.
Think, President should be meeting the chiefs.
Of course, the president should be meeting all the chiefs who are in the Galamsey Prune communities and have an open discussion with them, not a coveted one, an overted conversion where to be public live on television, so that we can put questions to these chiefs which Galamsey is happening in their enclave or in their jurisdiction, for us to tell us the reason why they are not able to control their people and put them under checks and balance.
Honorable, let me just pick your thoughts on this one, then we can get into some of our main issues. I mean, he says instead of inviting CSOs, and CSOs every now and then on our platform, whether it's on Joy News, Joy FM, Joy Prime, they've put out their opinions, what needs to be done. They are very clear. We're all familiar with it. But the president wants to engage them on Friday at the Jubilee House. And he's saying, well, instead of engaging them, engage the chiefs.
Well, I think he rightly said, and I support his call for the engagement with our traditional authorities. That notwithstanding, it is not out of place for the government to engage the CSOs and outline the measures he is taking in the fight against this illegal mining. We've had the CSOs sharing the opinions via social media, via platforms, every media outlets. But I think it is a step in the right direction for the president himself to call them. We've heard your concerns. This is what we are doing about it. So when you provide constructive argument and criticisms and outline what, as a CSO, you also intend to support the government with or support the president with regards to the fight against this menace, I think it is in the right direction. I come from a mining constituency, and what we are seeing in some mining constituencies or mining communities is somehow different from what is happening in my community.
Okay.
And I think the step by the president in declaring water bodies and forests
a
security zone is one of the major steps that the president has taken, which I think, if enforced, we can make a headway to.
I mean, some said, what is it that the CSOs are going to tell the president that the president doesn't already know?
Yeah,
because you wonder, what is it? I mean, for the past 4 or 5 years, they've been talking, they've held press conferences, they've had, even here at Multimedia, we've had thought leadership program, they've done presentation every now and then. One of their major concern has been declare state of emergency. The president says it's going to be the last resort. If you engage most of these people, as recent as about 2 or 3 weeks ago, the Media Coalition Against Galamsey held a press conference at the press center, and all they were telling the government is that declare state of emergency. The argument that it should be the last resort, they won't buy it.
So you see, making of press conferences and speaking in the public space, the president or the government will only have spokesperson or representative to somehow respond to all those issues in the media platform or in the media space. But this is giving the opportunity, like you are here. Sometimes we watch your show, someone will send text message, WhatsApp messages as to how some part of your show should be handled. But if management calls or identifies those people and set them down, oh, this is your concern, this is what management is doing about it, the person will feel involved in the fight against or in solving the challenge he raised outside. So I think the president is doing what he should do as far as this menace.
I mean, what about those who say this is just an attempt by government to try and, get these CSOs on their side and to reduce their criticisms and their advocacy so that they could be, someone says, in bed with government as government tries to do what they can so that they can lower their tone? Because in recent weeks, they've been very, very loud.
So I think engagement with them will even give them the opportunity to further probe the government in its actions. Because if you sit down with the government for the government to outline what he is doing in fighting this menace, it gives you the opportunity to further come out to lambast the government if what he tells you during the engagement session is not adhered to. So it's a platform for them to.
So it is, and I think that's quite significant. So president is offering them opportunity to go and tell him what they think he should do directly.
Sure.
When they do that, and the president fails to act on it, the argument is that it will be a ground for them to, critique the government, to question the government. Well, let's see how.
Okay, that's why we are advocating that, well, the state of emergency may not be the total panacea to the problem, but at least we will know that, yes, we declared it. This is the outcome. If we declared it and, yes, still we will not be able to make any significant impact, then we can look at what next.
All right. You want to chip in something?
Yes, I want to chip in. My brother Awal just ended the whole discussion on the political...
It's political because that is what you use to win the elections.
Yeah, so when the conversation starts to be political, then gradually we lose the fight. He bringing politics in this, I don't think he has the moral right to even question this government as far as the fight against Galamsey. Because we were here when Professor Frimpong Boateng made revelations, mentioned names. When Akufo-Addo met the CEOs, he put his presidency on the line. But all the revelations that Professor Frimpong Boateng brought was an indictment on the president.
Yeah, but you're in government now.
So, yes.
Why don't you take it up
That
and
is
implement it?
So you don't know what is coming out of the engagement with the CEOs. That is why you have to wait. But he going on the tangent, the NPP doesn't have the moral right to even talk about this
Why
fight
were we
against
voted out?
Galamsey.
Why were we voted out?
Because in Ghana, we never heard someone claiming a party or a political party needs money, and that the only way to get money is to engage in Galamsey. We saw it. We see. He made that profound statement, that party in Yeska. And so the only way they can get that money is through Galamsey. So he shouldn't go that line.
But the fundamental
Let's look at
that
how we are going to manage. Look at this with the videos you are showing. If this river bodies passes through his area, he just said Asawase, I'm sure Asawase, there's no mining area in Asawase, and so he doesn't see some of these things.
I was in the Western North 2 weeks ago.
Yes,
and
so,
that is the reason I'm telling you that let's
yes,
declare a state of emergency on water bodies. Because I have seen the water in our wing. I have seen it in Swamai, and I've seen it in Seshuyo also. And I'm saying that if we declare state of emergency on water bodies, those in Central Region, the 10 communities that have been affected by the shutdown of the Kwanyako water processing plant, they don't do Galamsey over there.
Oh no, just land so that I can get
There's no Galamsey there. So we are all affected.
So he should wait for the president's engagement with the CEOs and see the pragmatic measures the government is going to take as far as fighting this menace.
But Razak, I can assure you that the NDC will not be able to implement the Frimpong Boateng report, because when you read the report, in the report, Frimpong Boateng claims that the NDC does Galamsey than MPP. It is in the report, so they cannot implement it.
Well, talking about MPP and NDC and matters relating to Galamsey will obviously continue to dominate the headlines of the conversation. But if you narrow it down to the MPP at the moment, there appears to be some internal issues, conflicts, internal wranglings that is threatening the unity of the party, because they are already dealing with the campaign among the flag bearers and the various supporters of various flag bearers, and the party is now divided on the lines of the aspirants who are looking to become the flag bearer of the party. And at the moment, it appears to be the Bono regional chairman of the party, Bronye, and the general secretary is in some, contention of a sort. Even Chairman Woon to me has been mentioned to some extent. And if you want to extend it, the Deputy Communications Officer of the party, Communications Director of the party, and also Usubempa, has also been caught up. All of whom have been sent to the disciplinary committee. And the big question we're asking is, what is wrong with the MPP? Is an MPP really going to unite, and are they going to be in a good position to be the kind of opposition Ghanaians need? As long as this NDC government remains in power, can they stay united and do the job that they need to do as an opposition party and offer constructive criticisms, etc.? Let me start with Awal, maybe. Awal, what's happening in your party? Why is there so much, I don't want to, maybe I should use the word chaos in your party?
Well, I think after losing an election, especially when you anticipate that you will win and you lose massively like this, you don't expect anything better than what is happening today. The only thing is that we have to show leadership. I remember in 2016, when NDC lost the elections, the supporters went and locked up Barbara, the Deputy General Secretary then. They said they will beat Fred Abonyo. You remember those days. So when you lose elections as a political party, a lot of people have issues that they think are the reasons we lost the elections. And they may want to vent their spleen on leadership and so on. And I think it's normal.
Yeah, but if it is party supporters who are doing that, like you explained, it's quite understandable.
Yes.
But when you find leaders who are supposed to be providing the leadership engaged in this, then it becomes a bigger problem that people are wondering what it is. Because you're talking about the Bono regional chairman of the party. Yeah. You're talking about your deputy director of communications. These are leaders that the party supporters ordinarily will be looking up to for leadership. And they're the ones who are, fighting.
Yes, so that's right. That's why I'm saying that, well, after you lose elections, definitely all of these things will come up, especially people will have their reasons that they think we lost the elections and so on. And there must be sanity in the party. So I am exceedingly happy to see that these, finally, these petitions had gone to the appropriate quarters, because you remember when we started the year, constituencies like Yendi, they suspended over 660 people. Almost all the constituencies, you hear them suspending people because they went and supported independent candidate, or some even supported NDC. I think he's also one of the beneficiaries, because in his constituency, it's supposed to be a safe seat, and he won it. So it's a borrowed seat. So these are areas, these are places where you had these people going on suspension and so on. So we're thinking that these complaints should have been sent a long time ago, because I know that the petition to suspend or even remove Abua Papo as Deputy Communications Director are numerous because of the things he said after the losing elections and so on. So I think it's just a step in the right direction. Let's have sanity in the party and make sure that at least there's leadership. You cannot just go and be making all sorts of comments against the party. The party will need to unite. That's the reason the party decided that, because we know presidential context bring all these acrimonies and so on, let's do the presidential context first, and so that at least the acrimony will beat down within the next 3-4 months. Then after that, now you have a clear leader and so on. And part of the reasons we're where we are today is because our national chairman is indisposed, and someone had taken over as acting national chairman. But before that, the acting national chairman had already said that all of them must go. You understand? He didn't even know that he would be acting national chairman. I was on a radio when they called him for an interview, and he said almost all the national executives must go because they left the work for the candidate Bawumia to do, and they did not really play their role that they are supposed to play. Then the same person now becomes the national chairman, acting national chairman of the party. So yes, we have some kind of a leadership crisis.
Yeah, there seems to be a leadership crisis. And I just want to get into a bit more specifics involving Abronya. Now, Abronya, if our viewers can see, you can see Kenneth Japan face there, you can see Justin Nketia, the General Secretary face there. Now, Abronya made some disparaging remarks, about Honorable Kenneth Japan, and the argument has been made that he's a senior member of the party, and some of the comments he made are defamatory, and it should not be coming, especially from a Bono regional chairman of the party. So he's been hauled before the Supreme Committee for comments that they believe is not, in sync with the conduct that is expected of leaders of the party. He also made some wild allegations against the General Secretary, which the General Secretary has refuted, and also called on the Disciplinary Committee to call him to substantiate those very allegations he's made against him. All right. So, but Abronya has also written a letter responding that, well, he's ready to defend the comments he made against Honorable Kenneth Japan, and he's also ready to defend the allegations he made against the General Secretary. In fact, he wants his engagement with the Disciplinary Committee to be broadcasted live on TV. That's a very strange request to make, really strange request to make.
That cannot happen. That cannot happen. But because I know that it will not happen because it's supposed to be internal. But the only thing I see very strange is when the one reporting him is the General Secretary of the party. It's strange.
Why should it be strange, though?
Yes, because you see, you are the host of the show here. You have an issue with your general manager. Instead of him calling you to order, general manager writes to CEO. Or you have an issue with your CEO. Then instead of calling you to order, CEO report you to board. When the CEO
I say you've made allegations against me.
So I'm saying that when the CEO can do that, you see, the administrative head of the party is the General Secretary. Is the administrative
head. You think Justin should have called
At least he could have called him
into
to
his
order.
office.
Yes, call him to order. Tell him these are things that...
Maybe he knows when he calls him.
When you call him to order, he doesn't come. Then you can enumerate the reasons why you are sending him. Call him to order. Write a statement and restrict him from speaking. These are things within the remit of the General Secretary. He can
you think
do
he should
that.
have done all of that before taking him?
Exactly so. But, well, it's now before the discipline committee. So he had expressed the desire to meet them. For it to be broadcast live, that
all
will
of
not
this
happen.
is affecting, you know, the parties, the optics, you know, people's, you know, what do you call it? Respect and love for the party, because they feel that your house is not in order. So why are you even talking about winning power in 2028? And Honorable, I'm wondering how the NDC, you know, sitting back and seeing all that is happening in the NPP, I'm wondering what's going through your mind. Are you okay that they should continue to, you know, stay in this line?
Well, in fact, I feel sorry for my brother who is in the opposition. You know, he rightly said that when NDC lost power in 2016, there were agitations, and it happens when a party loses power. But the approach in making sure that those agitations are watered down and the party brought back to a level where Ghanaians will appreciate the fact that they can be considered some few years or some years to come close to the corridors of power. That is what they are failing to do, because after 2016, the NDC as a party did a massive reorganization, and it was led by the president, or the former president then, John Dramani Mahama. In fact, I was part when we went to the unity walk in Techiman with Sami Jemfi and others. That was in 2017 after, and you saw that all those who felt something was not right, and for that matter, the party needs to reorganize, were on board. But in this case, with our brothers in opposition, looks like the center cannot hold.
We did thank you tour, just like you did the unity walk.
So
it's still the same.
During their thank you tour, you saw what happened when Kennedy Japan and the Bono Regional Chairman met on the same platform. That was when, and a thank you tour that was abruptly cancelled due to the expectation of violence.
It was not cancelled. Someone had dropped.
Now, the NPP party, like he said, there's no leadership. He said there's no.
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, yes.
Yes,
I mean, fundamentally, yes. Because at the moment,
the person who is at the helms of affair has even stated clearly that the entire leadership needs to sit down for a new or a fresh, and now he is being given the baton because the substantive chairman is indisposed. The person who is supposed to be consulted, who has that wisdom to make sure that, wisdom in quote, to make sure that the party reunites, is not being sought after. That is former President Kufuor, and he has said that the party has neglected him. So I don't think the NPP party...
After those comments, I think the party held a national NEC meeting. Was it at Alisa Hotel? Yes. And apparently he was engaged. And
no, he's a member. He's a member of NEC. He's a member of National Council. And after that, because this is something that he said some time back. It was later.
His time. You know why I'm saying that? Though it is their internal party.
No, it's not a monologue. We're supposed to give information.
The reason why I'm saying that is, you see, he made a statement that it shouldn't have gotten to this level.
Yeah.
So what structures were used to make sure that it shouldn't have gotten to this level? At least these elders, the party leadership, former President Kufuor alone can handle issues like this in his room or in his house. But what are we saying? Like he's saying, if it wasn't, it's not appropriate for it to get to this level, what was the initial arrangement to make sure it doesn't get to this level?
Do you think that the early primaries for the flag bearer race is also accounting for this?
In fact, I am looking at the day that presidential primaries will be held. And I'm not a prophet of doom, but I can sit here and say that the NPP is digging their own hole because they are trying to roof the building before laying the block.
That's not correct.
Yes, they are trying to roof the building before laying the blocks. And mark my words, mark my words somewhere after their presidential primaries. That is when things fall apart.
The argument you're making is that, and I'm going to come to you, Richard, very shortly. The argument you're making is that, look, if you consider what is happening now, following the decision to go into this early primaries, all right, it is better for them to go through it now
within this period
than to go through it
in
a year or two to the general elections, because already we are seeing how intense and sharply divided the party is. And the party says, well, it's better for us to absorb this now than wait for a year to elections when we cannot even reconcile properly.
So you know what's going to happen? The Bruno Radio chairman has stated on his Ohia TV that those who are eligible to even select the presidential candidate, he is going to make sure some people's names are taken out. But that's not correct.
That's not correct. When you have no, but you have our constitution, and our constitution is not like that. He doesn't do that.
He has said it. No regional chairman. Do you know how he's going to do that? That is something they have to worry about. I am not.
But the party has spelled out how.
You know, with the kind of leadership NDC is putting to the people of Ghana now, I don't expect NPP to even think of coming close to the corridors of power again. But I don't want, for the country to continuously experience this democracy, they have to be part of the system so that they can sometimes make constructive criticism. But the way and the tangent they are going, Mr. Awal has to advise their
they need to set up. Well, for Movement for Change, I'm wondering what's your I'm wondering whether you're feeling relieved that you jumped ship.
Well, let me say something. Let me say a very good morning to Cornelius, one of my good friends who always follow me. They say when you train a child recklessly, you have to hire a good lawyer to defend him in the future. So, and again, when the fundamentals are very weak, a defeat will certainly expose you. The fundamentals of NPP has been weakened when they went into their last presidential election. Yes, I have not been a member of NPP. No, I'm not a member of NPP. I personally was contesting, or I declared my intent to run for the office of the president as an independent candidate in the last election. It was in the process that I met Honorable Yaobuabi and Samuel Nko at EC, and that time Alliance was also forming an alliance for the revolutionary change. So I felt like, look, Alan, as I know him as an individual, his personality, his in-depth knowledge about economy and trade, investment, and I feel he's one fine gentleman that can or has the pedigree to lead this country. So I truncated my process to support Alan and to join the Alliance for Revolutionary Change. So I am not privy to most information that is within the NPP fraternity. But we all are in Ghana and we are active participated in the political space. So we have snippets of information which I would like to zero in to put something small across. Like I said, when a fish wants to get rotten, it starts obviously from the top, from the head. And NPP have never put their house in order. The party grew from when Kufuor was in power. He built a solid foundation for the party. Then Professor Mills came in. Then John Dramani Mahama came in. As at then, the competition was mainly between Alan Kojo Chermantain and Nana Akufo-Addo as to who leads the party after Kufuor. Now, when they went into their contest, Alan gave Nana Akufo-Addo a good run for his money, and Akufo-Addo himself admitted it and know for fact that, yes, Alan is a fine gentleman and he gave me a run for my money. So in every party, we look at the hierarchy of the party, and people's contribution to the party over the years. So if you look at that hierarchy of the party and how then it was a keenly contested election between Nana Akufo-Addo and Honorable John Alanko Joshua, every Ghanaian or every other observer would have thought that once Alan conceded to Akufo-Addo and threw his support behind him, even though he resigned at some point, he came back. Because of some of these shenanigans activities that happened within the party, he left. But nevertheless, he was spoken to and then he came back. When he came back, they all marshaled their resources. They did everything humanly possible to make sure that President Akufo-Addo or Nana Akufo-Addo becomes the president of the republic, which he got the nod. After Nana Akufo-Addo got the nod, then he tried to do all manner of machinations to realign the party, to follow his beliefs and what he thinks is best for the party. So then, he started to lay a solid foundation for Dr. Bawumia to succeed him. And you all know that the president openly supported Dr. Bawumia prior to their prior to their last election with the law, was it the 2024 election?
Yeah.
He openly supported him and endorsed him.
And that's understandable, isn't it?
I am
been
coming.
with him since 2008.
No, but that shouldn't have been the case.
But this is someone who's been with him since 2008.
I am saying,
thick and thin.
Dr. Bawumia was with Bank of Ghana, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Then he pulled him from the Bank of Ghana and told us that because he, Nana Akufo-Addo, doesn't have sufficient knowledge in economics, so he was bringing Dr. Bawumia as the panacea to our economic woes. Wasn't that the case? And we believed him. Then now when we gave him the mandate together with his co-pilot, we realized that the co-pilot, yes, he may be good academically, theoretically, in terms of economic management, and pass his economic exams.
Where are you driving at?
But at the end of the day, he may not be good enough to practically solve our economic problem. So they perform abysmally when it comes to the Ghanaian economy.
So
Together with Alan.
So are you suggesting
So my point is that
Akufo-Addo should have supported Alan?
no, not even, he shouldn't have even openly supported anybody. He should have allowed the system itself to flourish. But some of the same things that Alan raised, that's why I say that there's no smoke without what? Fire. Some of the same things that Alan raised as the shenanigans, the maneuvering, the machinations, the attempt to do what? Manipulate the system in favor of one person. Is it not the same allegation that Abronya and Co are raising today? When Alan raised it then, they all gagged up against him because they were benefiting from the system. And Bawumia was then the biggest purse holder who is able to fuel the ground and bought all of them. So they believed in him, hook, line, sinker. So they gagged up against Alan for raising concerns. And it is the same concerns for which reason Alan left the party and realized that, look, the grounds on which they are operating is not an level playing field. So if I will be in a context that we don't have an open level playing field, then I have to exist and then chart my own path because he believes in Ghana. He believes Ghana deserves better. So now, when your regional chairperson, when he goes after everybody else, okay, throwing tantrums, salvos, insulting everybody left, right, front, center, didn't the party architecture, the entire party machinery supported him? When he insulted everybody, they were throwing support to him. They believed that Abronya has every unfettered right to insult anybody in this country that he likes. Did they condemn him? Did they chastise him? Did they bastardize him for the things he was doing then? Zero. They supported him. So then now, if he turns around to allege that these are the things that is happening in the party, for which reason he's spoken out loud, and then now again, they say when it is happening to your brother and you think it is not close to you, you sit aloof and watch him burn. But when the fire is near your house, you start preparing to do what? To quench it. So when he was going after everybody, was Justin Kodia able to put him into order? Did Justin Kodia call him out publicly to lambast him or to chastise him publicly for us all to know that what he is doing, the general secretary of the party is not in bed with him?
You think he is only acting because he's now being...
He has not been brought in.
He's now a victim.
He's now a victim of the children that we have raised who are growing to become bastards. Excuse me to say.
I'm
not talking about him, but I'm just putting it in context. So when you grow children or when you raise a child, that becomes a vagabond, becomes completely out of order. And then he's not going after you, the father. What will you do? You then now start arranging for family heads to come and meet and talk to the child. Isn't that the case? So now, because he's going after him, initially, he cannot say that he only went after him. That is why he roped in Honorable Nketia Japan. Since when did Abronye start going after Nketia Japan? Since when? Like how Honorable is saying, when they went to their thank you tour, didn't he openly, publicly, verbally went after Honorable Nketia Japan?
But that's his prodigy.
Whether it is his prodigy or not, the chairperson or the general secretary,
you think
should have put him to order?
You think Honorable Abronye has made similar comments in the past that ordinarily should have warranted him being held before the DC, but because this time around it's involved the general secretary.
Not even holding him before the DC. I am talking about the general secretary, like he said, he's the administrative head of the party. He should have made a public statement condemning the utterances of what Abronye against those individual members of the party. Okay? But did he do so? He didn't. He sat back and watched him and let him continue and even went after the IGP.
But some are also
the president.
Some are also saying that the Honorable Ken has also made some comment that has disparaged some individuals, yet the General Secretary didn't hold him before the DC.
Honorable Nketia Japan was a member of parliament, wasn't he? He was only a member of... Does he hold any party executive position?
But he was a member of the party.
Oh, I'm asking, does he hold any party executive position?
Yes.
No.
Yes. He's a member of National Council.
Of parliament.
National Council. The second highest decision body.
He can be a member of a national council. He's not the original chairman of the party.
But he's a member of the party. And
he's a member of the party. And he's a senior member of the party.
And the laws of the party apply.
They say, let me say it in three parallels. They say, Abba yedi bought Ishinu. And yes, I say, Abba yedi bought Kofi and something like that. So at the end of the day, if Nketia Japan has been making all these allegations, unsubstantiated allegations, the party never put him in order. That's why I'm saying that when you train your children in a reckless manner, you have to start defending them in the nearest future.
So the NPP is only reaping what
they have sown.
All right.
So the thing they did against Alan is what is festering, is what is raising its ugly head now. So Alan is obviously has been vindicated. And in the political space now, NPP is no longer the major opposition party in this country.
Really?
Because anything they say does no longer resonate with the people of this country.
So which is the major opposition party?
We are now the people
who supports the government.
The movement for change who has transitioned, and by tomorrow next, you will hear about us. We are transitioning to become the most party of choice, a party that will be able to hold this government to its feet. And at the end of the day...
You think because of the situation that NPP find themselves now, they're going to lose their status as the major opposition party
let me tell you,
to the movement of change?
Of course. Didn't we have the Sangha Empire? Didn't we have the Mali Empire?
You are taking over from the
Empires
NPP.
fall.
And
Empires fall. And NPP, as we stand now, they are falling. And they are fallen. And they will continue to fall.
Take over.
Not for movement for change. Not for movement for change. We are not looking for the weakest. Okay, we are positioning ourselves.
But they are the biggest opposition party now.
It is
so if they are out of the way,
their total membership registered card is 350,000. So we cannot. They used to be.
How many are you?
We are now going into becoming a fully fledged political party.
But as a movement for change, how many are you?
As a movement for change, we represent the entire nation. We represent the entire nation. So we speak for the entire nation. So our membership doesn't really matter. Because we are speaking to the issues, and we are speaking to the issues based on facts.
Just quick one. One minute. So that we get to a very important issue.
This is someone who is bragging. And they went into elections. and had 34,000 votes across the country.
It doesn't
We have 42,000 polling stations across the country.
So they had limited time.
I'm saying that we had 42,000 polling stations across the country. They had only 34,000 votes.
Even if it's 1,000 people who voted
So, there is a saying that if you use your mouth to weed, it will not even hurt you. So you see, the most important thing is that we're doing a reorganization of the party. And within the reorganization, we know these things will occur. And that is the reason we're saying that after the presidential, because the stakes are higher when it's presidential elections, not the regional constituency and so on. Because we went into this in 2023. And that was a reason, 1 week to elections, the NDC bought all the airtimes and we're playing the voices of our people, that the things that they said against us. So that is the reason we feel that at this point in time, let's do it early so that by the end of 2026, we will have really completed everything so that the party will be on its feet.
All right.
Again, my brother is talking about, oh, I feel sorry for the NPP and so on. You should be feeling sorry for your party, because when Nketia started, just thank you, Tor, you had former MP Rasmubara calling him to order, telling him not to do that. Then you had MP for Hohoi, Efo Walanyo, also calling Rasmubara all names. Then you have MP for China Paga, who has told Nketia not to come to his constituency because they haven't given them jobs.
No, I was on the platform with him when
the video is there.
I was there.
He came and apologized. I'm saying that. Why did he apologize then?
I can
He was hauled before national executives yesterday.
His was twisted.
It was not twisted. I have the video. I watched the video. He said, "What are you coming to China Paga to do when you have not given us jobs?
No.
Come and sit down with us." These are the things he said. The video is there. Everyone can go and watch. So I'm saying that the NDC, they are even in government today. But look at, even just because Nketia has expressed interest to contest, now he decided to go for thank you tour. And look at what is happening.
All right.
The paralysis in NDC will rear its ugly head when they start.
I think it will be worse than what
I'm telling you, it will be worse, because we are starting with
what the
presidential.
NDC will go through.
It will be
selecting
worse.
their flag bearer will be worse.
It will be worse, because you see, today, Mahama is only 8 months in government. Nketia has started campaigning. He's doing thank you tour. Julius Debra has started doing kifits. I'm told this weekend he's going to Ashanti region. He's doing it every region, doing kifit with party people. Then you have Musa Dankwa coming to say that Haruna Idrisu is leading. Now, Onya and others, the NDC surrogate media houses are saying that Musa Dankwa is not painting the right picture. Then some are saying Atu Forsen and other people. They don't even know who leads the party today. But you know that Dr. Bawumia is the presumptive leader of this party.
All right. And when Dr. Bawumia wins that their primary, they will sink further into habits.
Just touch on that. Then we can go to an issue that concerns another person who is an interested party in the NDC leadership, Eric Opoku, relating to food prices. This is very important to me. So just
yes, my brother, I think the NPP is on the way of distraction. And that is what should
They haven't gotten there yet.
They are on their way.
If you are seat, we will take it back.
That is why I said they are digging their own what?
Their own grave.
And by 31st January 2026, they will know who to bury in that grave. Yes. What I'm worried about is we are not going to get any strong opposition.
But what are you saying? What are you saying?
Okay, my brother is here. Yes,
he knows that they work together with them.
Brother,
an opposition party attacking
the biggest man you see today was once a baby.
Yes, their status of claiming to be the biggest opposition parties is virtually going to...
it's in danger.
It's in danger.
They are dislodging them.
Because movement of change or movement for change is on its way to take over that
position. Who will dislodge them?
When you have 87 MPs in parliament.
He touched on my party. What I'm going to say is my national chairman, the chief of staff, the education minister, or anybody who is expressing interest to be the leader of the party should President Mahama leave office. We are in government. Anybody who expresses interest and decides to come to my constituency, once we are in government and they are holding the position, my constituents will have the opportunity to lay before them their the projects or...
but your colleague in Paga says they shouldn't come there. They should give them jobs first.
That is what I am saying. I'm going to welcome any person in government who tries to visit my constituency, because my constituency voted for me to bring development. And anybody who tries to come there will come there and do his part to support the constituency.
But based on how things are unfolding, do you perceive that if it is not properly managed? Because I know Ambassador Victor Smith has made the point that, I mean, all individuals who are beginning to test the ground, etc., should put it aside and focus on governance. Focus on governance. But if you are really interested, you've got to start early. You don't have to wait 2 years and say, well, 2 years, and you need to start early. And it seems some people have started early. Do you think this idea of we need to start early might affect the party?
You see, in all that is happening, the national chairman is on the grip of the party. He is managing the party as it is, and even extending the management to that of NPP, because they don't have a substantive national chairman now. So anybody, any government official, any party leader who intends to come to my constituency, definitely he's going to communicate why he is coming there. And based on that communication, I'll prepare my people to wait for that person, so that when he or she comes, we will also lay before
you dodge the question.
You dodge the question. In fact, the flag bearer position is something that will persist. The campaign is still ongoing across the various regions. You know, so the last time I checked, Nketia was in the UK. I understand. I don't know if he's returned to the country. Dr. Bawumia is in the central region. He completed that tour yesterday. Not sure where he's going to be next. Dr. Edichub is also across the region. Kwame Japan is also doing the same. But latest also from NPP is that Mr. Ejako has declared his intention to contest for national chairman of the party. And if you look at the perception, the reception to that, it appears quite a lot of people are happy to see his face in that race. We know John Wedu is also interested. And we saw a flyer of the Nakomia, you know, some flyers suggesting that he might also be interested. These are all things that we'll look closely. But the Minister for Agric, in an interview with TV3, indicated it was a quote card that went viral, and I went to listen to the interview on hot issues with Kameni, and he suggested that the cost of food in this country has reduced because of the interventions the government have put in place. That is what he said, and the quote card is everywhere. And the big question we went out to ask people is, what is your situation? When you go to the market to buy food, how much do you buy the plantain for? How much do you buy the olonka of gari and rice for? How much do you buy your fanti kenke for? What is the cost of food wherever you are? Okay, we have our soundbite. I'm not sure if it's ready. We'll be hearing from them very shortly. But this is the situation. Let me just, let me start with you, Honorable, though. And you live in a farming community. Great. All right, great. So, that's what the minister said. But we went to ask the people of Ghana, what is the level of affordability of the food product in our markets? And this is what they had to say.
Weekend, the Honorable Minister for Food and Agriculture, that's Eric Opoku, made headlines with a statement, and I quote, "Food is no longer expensive in Ghana." Well, across the bustling markets where prices are part of everyday conversations, how true is this claim? So we made our way here at the Malata market, right in the center of it, to speak to market women, to speak to vendors, and to speak to shoppers. If this claim is the actual reality on the ground, is food affordable? Well, we'll find out in a bit. And also we'll find out if the market price that's confirmed, you know, with the money in their wallet. So let's hear them out. I'm Sheila Sechi, and this is Prime Morning. Stay with us.
Ampa, ya can't sempa. I feel we Jenaba. Fine. A biaba. You were Egypt. You were Holland. You were Morocco. And I were local ones. And now, we like oh, you might go Egypt. Local in Quahadea, Niger, Diano, now so I did Tony.
Your money, they are different, and so yento.
Potato no se nyame me one 10-20 bye no first net 150 30 70 depending basket nkwa na 3 million me say basket na 1.5 Ese ane de ne buana ba form kakra.
Near man a beer but from some said you are no form of any season. A beer or any season ni and see an about form. A bisu or any season it's a page to say and go see. And any season ni by this time then go boy a day. And say and go there and bar form.
Yeah, do me journey boa ba form. Because we're not about politics. I'm not dealing with politics. When Ukraine me journey boa ba form. E journey na ba myself ukita 23 crowd me nya bibidi.
Se won se malata journey ye wo mu no. No ma no se sia no. Be no ma na ye ton wo ha no ye emba ha. What I say emba ha na ye nkasa ye kọ akra ene ye kọtọ ene ye di ba ha. Won saban se no ma ba form o madam no ma na emba form maaye. Won so omu si dro no omu di dua no ma ne boy ye din. Enti so omu di no ma ne ba ye nya no fofofo wa ha.
Yen kan say wuton nkruma no wo na wuton aba form ana akosro.
Nkruma ne de won season. Nkruma de won season. Ni season ne be say ya eba form. Season nko so a na akọ high. What you say ba sesi ande ye kakra. Eye kakra.
Wa boa no wuton ne sen.
Ma boa no 4 cities. Obi ba me to me sam 10 city amano. But be 3 months 4 months no na e ba ko 1 city 5 cities. Wow, it's in the season na we say sweet to talk akra.
Me ye catering adwuma.
Oh, ye catering.
Enfa say emo aba form. Oyel aba form. Enam na ye to no so aba form. Ena se say enfa say amo ni moko ni we no so and the season ni enti aba form.
Okay. First na edwa na wo ba be dia, let's say we be spend let's say 500 cedis no. We get a 500 udi nya niema be
more kakra chain. Previous no.
And edwa be na be di.
Oh, we dem beto yem ade.
Omo boa fi say Indiana na kan nsuo tutoi especially banche. If your mind we nti esan ka less. But still price na you turn up ne board then sa na omuguso to mai. You can't almost say transportation. You can't almost say transportation. You didn't have ba. Sanka first, ne boy, you 500, 600. And can you have to tell your family and at least 300, 350. Well, so say still 600 or bunch bottom 900. Obeto bunch bottom 9 million. Ni ye truck ebe can almost 1,000. Obeton the same. Na nipa no so to me aton the same. Enti ni amane ye yin so maye ni amane boy ye din ye boa ya mo aman no so ye nim zembanfo ni doing.
Yeah, so those are the vendors there. They say, well, you know, really mixed reaction there. Some said, well, indeed, the price has come down for some of the product. Others insist that it's still high. What do you make of it? Send us your messages and let's hear from you. This is still News Flash, brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. And yesterday I went to buy a banku and I bought one ball for 5 Ghana cedis. And I had two, and to be very honest,
how many did you fire?
I just had to manage with 2. Yeah, you know, they weren't big enough, and but we had to manage it.
2. Was it enough?
And you get a medium bottle of water on top of it, and then it will fill it up. Then you can manage to the day. You know, but Honorable, let me start with you. I mean, your area is a very farming community. I mean, you mentioned what the prison does. There's cocoa, there's oil palm. What else have you got in your area?
Well, we have cassava, we have plantain, we have some of the vegetables also being grown by. Yeah.
It's an area where we get a lot of foodstuffs for,
yes,
right?
Some part of my constituency, it's a food basket for the district capital. Yes, the rural communities. That is where we get most of our foodstuffs from.
I mean, the people in Accra are saying that things are still very expensive for them. Things are still very expensive for them, contrary to what the minister is saying. And just like you mentioned, if you look at it, for instance, if you go to my village, all right, and I'm buying cassava, it will be less expensive compared to buy it in Accra. So the price, of course, is determined by where you are. If you're in Accra, it's going to be expensive. But if you're in the village, it's going to be less expensive. Okay? So, I mean, what do you think is the way forward? That's what I want us to, how I want us to approach this. What do you think is the way forward? How can we make food affordable for everybody? Because the restaurants are still charging, you know, 250 Ghana cedis. Richard, how much do you buy the last one in the restaurant?
For them, we understand that they are paying for air conditioning and all these things. They add it all to the price.
Yeah, the prices
food.
of last year prices are still Yeah, but Honorable, how do we get food to be affordable? Because, I mean, contrary to what the minister is saying, the reality on the ground is different.
Well, I just want to correct the fact that the reality on the ground, per the video you played, is not contrary to what the minister is also saying, because from the video you played, all the people you interviewed, I think I heard one or just two people saying the cost of items or foodstuffs are high and allocated or attached a reason for that. You know, the last person who spoke made mention of the fact that cassava, you know, in Accra here, you don't have cassava cultivation being done here. Mostly is from some of the rural or district that used to cultivate the cassava. And for that matter, the issue of transportation becomes a factor in charging the final price for this product. And so from all the interviewers, you can really appreciate the fact that the price of foodstuffs are low. Yes. The price of foodstuffs are low. Fine, some, it is because it is a seasonal crop and now it is in abundance. And for that matter, naturally, since the supply is exceeding probably the demand, the price is going to be less. But in a nutshell, on an average, the prices of goods and foodstuffs are low. And I'm picking from the caterer. You know, if you want to actually see that you are buying less food, I will also entreat that you buy from the choba instead of the restaurant. I know there are differences. Yes, with the restaurant, you just go and sit down, you order for the plate and it will come. But for the choba, you'll be able to determine which meat they have to give you.
You want to collapse their business?
No, I'm saying you should also test. You should also test so that you can make.
I do choba. I do choba.
So, like my brother said, if you go to the restaurant, they factor in air conditioning, they factor in the music you are listening because they will pay electricity, all those stuff, the chair, the venue they are renting. You know,
even modern chobas do that.
Renting a place in East Legon to make a restaurant, you can know the rent aspect. So, in a nutshell, I think what we have to look at is the way
I think the transportation part of it.
Yes, the transportation aspect and how we can save or store some of these goods, especially the perishable ones that comes in some season or during some season. For now, there are some foodstuffs in abundance because it is a seasonal crop. When we don't actually initiate measures to make sure those seasonal crops are stored for use in the future, we will sit down and talk about price being low now, and within some few period, we will start saying the prices are high.
So
because
the post-harvest losses is something we need to deal with.
Yes, post-harvest losses has to be dealt with by providing infrastructure that can store some of these.
Like
that is the best way. And also, in terms of the routes, that our crops are used to use in transporting, we have to make sure. And the government, through its initiative, is tackling these routes head on so that some of these challenges we can meet.
I will come in now. Then, Richard, I'll wrap up with you and take some messages.
Yeah, so I am happy with the interviews that was done, and I have really gleaned two things from the interview. One is that some are saying it's cheap, others are saying it's not cheap, and they have ascribed reasons that it is not cheap. And they are saying the purchasing power is low. People don't buy at all.
They don't have money to buy.
Yes, but from the interviews, you can see that. You see, the thing is that it is true, to be very honest, that food prices are not going as higher as they're supposed to go, looking at even
the food inflation
and so on. Exactly. So it doesn't necessarily mean that food prices have come down because the food inflation has come down. It's only the rate of increase that has slowed.
that's the interpretation of food inflation coming down.
Yeah.
But you see, the challenge is that the fuel prices, they are going up day in, day out. We left it at 14.3 for...
We understand there's a challenge to your microphone, so your sound is not come. So it will be worked on, so that they'll come and fix it, so you have the last bite. But Richard, let me come to you now. Yeah.
Well, you see, issue about agriculture supposed to be a major part of our conversation. The way we talk about galamsey, agriculture is the foundation for every global economy. Even if you want to go into creating sufficient jobs in terms of manufacturing and all these things, it all starts from agriculture. But Ghana, we only talk about agriculture in terms of what we're able to buy from the market and go and cook and eat. It ends there. The agri that we are doing, which one are we zeroing in on it? To be able to produce more, process it, export it, and get some value in addition. But we only talk about agri as to what we eat into our stomach, which is not proper.
But we are not getting what to even eat into our stomach.
That is why we are saying that there must be a deliberate and a conscious effort. When Kwame Nkrumah started, he started to build silos, because he knew very well that you must store sufficient food, store it, process them, export them. He started with the Insawan Cannery and Co., didn't he? Because he knew that we needed a cattle ranch, that you slaughter the cattle, process them into finished product, and sell. If you listen to all the market people that they've interviewed today, yes, we agree that the key determinant for food prices is about fuel and about transportation. Now, if you look at our roads from the hinterlands where the farming is really done, especially from, let's say, the honorable MP seated here, if he wants to be very sincere and honest with himself, he can bet his last penny that by the time he exits or next 4 years come, there will be several roads in his constituency that he will still not be able to attempt it, not even to resurface it. Okay, so at the end of the day, our infrastructure deficit as a country is so grievous. So let us look at that. And while he's talking about petrol prices, yeah, we realize that at some point in this country, your initial comment, petrol at some point went to 17, 18, and so forth. Today, let us all admit that there has been a little bit of respite. We still buy petrol. I saw diesel yesterday at 12.99.
No.
Oh, there are some filling station, Star filling station is, for instance, doing diesel 12.99. I bought petrol yesterday 12.99. So at least we still have some cushion. And then the dollar too has been relatively stabilized. That is why. That is why they imported. Because for rice, for instance, all the rice we import, edible oil we import. So if you listen to that woman telling you that edible oil and rice has reduced a little bit, then that should tell you that perhaps the importers are buying dollar at a lesser rate, therefore they are able to do some price adjustment. On my last point of this, so that I will speak, is that, you see, Kwame Nkrumah set up the nuclear atomic energy, the Ghana atomic energy. Do you know what is called radiation? Do you know radiation? There's a process of nuclear energy which is good for human consumption, which is called radiation. You can take tomatoes, oil, yam, corn, all these edible products, you can take them through the process of radiation and they can last for the next 10, 15 years and it still be good for human consumption.
So that deals with the issue of post-harvest loss.
Post-harvest loss.
Great. Let me just take some messages.
We should do something radically about this and process our food products into finished products so that we don't only talk about banchi. And our banchi, they call yefufu, it ends there. What are we doing with the banchi? No cassava starch factory in this country. They be a banchi, no. Yeah, the wofufu are there.
Alan collapsed the Ayensu starch factory. Alan didn't collapse. He collapsed the Ayensu starch factory.
Guys, let's take some messages. Meshach Asante Atamasaman says, in fact, wonder shall never end. So when did Justin Nketia and NPP realize that Bawumia must be called to order? Were they not the same people who were making unnecessary noise about the arrest of Bawumia? Or is it because of the things that he's now saying about their own party, NPP, which is creating problems within the party? If you throw a ball to the wall, it will surely bounce back to you. Meshach, basically, that's the point he's making. This one says, this one too is to Awal. Say good morning to you, Awal. Please, Awal, for me. Tell Awal I must get him a Dango Miguel. His dress picks our culture well. Okay, I don't know if Awal needs a Dango Miguel already. He has. No, I don't. How did you know he has a Dango Miguel? Okay. Mensa Majid from Bechem, Toronto says, Honorable Ebenezer Kweku Ado is really making my day. He speaks with facts, and I really love it. The NDC government is 99% better than NPP when it comes to the fight against Galamsey. Declaring our water bodies and forest reserves a security zone is remarkable. And he goes on to do long leave, long leave, long leave. Good morning, Zach and your panelists. Reviewing prisoners feeding from 180 to 5 cities will go a long way to solve the problems in our various prisons across the country. So the current DG has launched a program called Think Prison 360 Degree. The idea is to go into agriculture, book crops, and animal production, which can help supplement prisoners' feeding and possibly feed the schools. The problem is that land is not available. The few that belong to prison is being taken by landowners. Our political government will release all government farms, which is not in use to prison service, to embark on the project Think 360. Okay. Well, I think land is also another major issue when it comes to farming in this country. The NPP must do the right thing to win the 2020 elections. Dr. Bawumia stands taller than any candidate seeking to lead the NPP. Furthermore, we have made up our minds already. We have settled on Dr. Bawumia. He's the only candidate who can capture power for us. A word to the wise is enough. He goes on to say, doing campaign with my messages. Al-Hassan Sese from Zenu Central said, the fight against Galamsey cannot be won without the chiefs and the community members within the areas where these hooligans called Galamseyers are operating. The actions and policies of this government is commendable, he says. Then this one says, good morning, Joy Prime. I suspect the president has a strategy he's embarking on, which he doesn't want to put in the public domain, but will want to share with those who must know. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt, bearing in mind that the CSOs will listen to whatever he has to say, evaluate it, and take a stand by agreeing or disagreeing with him. To the president, you're lucky to have a problem to solve, which will remain as one of your legacy. Go all out and stop this Galamsey and make your name and also your party and Ghanaians proud, he says. Okay. This one says, great submission, my brother Awal. Dr. Bawumia will still lead the NPP in 2028 general elections. In the history of NPP's political party, no candidate has won the presidency in his first attempt. DMB also deserves another chance. Well, this one says, dear host, the NPP is in turmoil and it is about to implode anytime soon. The arrogance is too much in the NPP, and it's about time they did self-introspection, but the arrogance will not allow them to do so. I am not an NDC or a sympathizer, but I wish the NPP stayed in opposition for about 12 years. Then who are you that you want the NPP to stay in 12 years? Maybe he's one of your many people. you don't even want him in your party. Awal cannot be fair to the issue because he himself has taken a stand and he was on record to have attacked the credibility of Ken on his Facebook page. NPP's internal fighting is escalating, fueled by lack of leadership to crack the whip. However, I agree with Abronia calling for the live telecast of the disciplinary committee hearing. President Mahama needs peace of mind to continue working, so they should take their infighting to Burkina Faso. Alhaji Hamza, hopefully this will be the last part one I'll do. Says, good morning. Let me take the opportunity this morning to advise my brother Awal to stop insulting our intelligence and credit us with the little respect we deserve in this country. When it comes to the fight against Galamsey, I do not think Awal and the NPP has the moral right to speak. This was a government who drafted a bill, LI 1462, and sent to Parliament and passed it to allow their party functionaries and friends to do Galamsey in water bodies and our forest reserve. What is so wicked than this? Why will the government decide to be this wicked to his citizens? They should give us a break. We have a country to govern, he says. This will be my last one. Well, someone's actually sent me pictures of the state of the water bodies. And he says, NPP must stop shedding crocodile tears wove about Galamsey because they legalized the license and promoted it because party Hiansika. The fight against Gala is difficult because they are doing everything to sabotage the government. Really. Indeed, they are the financiers who arm their miners to destroy our forests and water bodies, but turn around to shed crocodile tears. The photo is NPP's record from blue to muddy brown. And he said, in fact, NPP sent pastors to the forest to pray against Galamsey. And he said some pictures with us. Anyway, quite a number of messages. Thank you so much for sending them. And no political party can effectively tackle Galamsey because many of their members and supporters are involved. And he says, the last part, as for the Agric Minister, yes, it's true, a tuber of yam is 1 cedi now. Hey. Okay, I don't know whether, I'm sure you're being sarcastic, right? A tuber of yam, 1 cedi. Oh my goodness. Well, the last time I was just passing around and I saw a slice of fried yam, which was being sold for 1 cedi, and it looked...
Look, that one is 2 cedis. It's like the smallest finger.
Yeah.
That one
No, it's 2 cedis.
It's actually 2 cedis.
Yes.
Where I went to, it was 1 cedi, and I thought for a moment, I didn't think it was yam. I thought it was a snack. It was a biscuit or something I was selling. Yeah. Well, final, you have the final take that we wrap up.
Yes, I was thinking my brother from Asawasi Musa, Abattoir, will talk about our brothers who were arrested in the Galamsey site. But you see, I was talking about the prices of fuel has been going up by the day. And that's the reason the food may be cheaper in the farm gate, but before it gets to Accra or it gets to all the cities, it goes up. Today, the farmers are crying because the people don't buy. Ejra, for instance, at this point in time last year, when you was a bag of maize was around 1,000 cedis. Today, it is around 600, but people are not buying. That's a challenge because, you see, the purchasing power of the Ghanaian has come down to the extent that the government has been able to really strangulate the Ghanaian, especially the public sector worker. See, beginning of the year, the public sector worker has, the government has increased only 10% on salaries. Electricity today, starting from today, we're doing 1.4%. Of electricity, starting from today.
Yeah.
Now, cumulatively for the year, it's 18.5%. With an increment of salary of 10%. 18.5% is what the Ghanaian is paying on electricity. Now, fuel is around 14 cedis per litre. That is what we left it off. When we were in government, we did 25% salary increment for last year. And again, electricity was 6.3% cumulatively for the year. And fuel was around 14 cedis. Now, fuel is around 14 cedis, electricity 18.3%. Then you have, so how will the Ghanaian be able to get the purchasing power to buy the food?
So you think even though the food is less expensive, they just can't even buy it?
They can buy, but because even if you watch the videos, 2 of them were saying that normally they are back from Nelso. Omunto.
Boys Nento.
Yes, Omunto, because the purchasing power is low. The government is not also spending, trying to control inflation.
All right, well, the conversation will continue. My cameraman appear to be nodding their head. They don't buy. And
they don't buy. It's
and their friends,
the money is not there.
Their friends and siblings are all complaining.
The money is not there.
Disposable income of Ghanaian public worker is so abysmal.
Yes.
Our disposable income is no.
And this government has made it so worse.
Oh, wow.
That's true.
Anyway, Honorable, thank you so much. Honorable, maybe just last words to your constituents.
Yes, my last words, I will touch on this.
Oh, it's a borrowed seat. He's aware.
I will touch.
Yeah, Honorable, let's do that in 1 minute.
Yes, so, you know, in talking about figures or prices, you compare last year this period to this year this period. So you talk about fuel. Last year, as at
we want to the time we left it off.
This is
That's
from
the
Joy.
most important.
No, we are in September. Sorry, we are in October. Last year, this is Joy Online in 2024. As at the end of August, petrol was sold at 13.91 per liter.
So today is 14.
Today, petrol is 13.38.
Which station?
Please, this is from Joy.
No, which station?
No.
You understand?
Goyle. I'm using Goyle.
He said he bought from Star.
I'm using Goyle.
So
yes, that is Ghana's.
Yes.
So he has no moral right to be talking about some of these things.
So electricity.
Because
electricity.
So electricity. Last year, electricity as at July, the lifeline consumers there was a 3.45% increment. Okay.
Today it's 18%.
You have
cumulatively for the year.
No, you are talking about cumulative. I'm talking about monthly.
But you have to do cumulative because it is last year against this year.
Yeah, so the fact is, the salary of Ghanaian workers hasn't been reduced from where we picked. Just that the increment wasn't all that much. And President in engagement session like what he's going to do with the CEOs, engage the public sector worker. heads and pleaded with them. This is the challenge our people who are now in opposition has left the country. And we are even in IMF. So kindly permit me, President Mahama, to do this for you. And they gladly accepted. So you don't have
they should expect, they should expect something better.
It is better to have the money to buy. Razak, it's better to buy get the money to buy the food expensive than the food is cheaper and you don't have the money to buy.
Your salary has been increased by 10%.
Just 10%. And electricity 18%.
Foodstuffs are going
electricity
down.
18%.
So
fuel is going up.
Well, you see that it is a fair Awal, thank you very much, Honorable.
We have a stable power.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, we didn't bequeath to you do so.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much for being part of the show.